Hello? Can you guys hear me? All right, excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day and week. You can't hear anything? Can you guys hear me? All right. Something must have happened here. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. Appreciate the comments. Well, I have some very interesting news. We've been working on several things, and as always, it's been a big change since we did our filing. I can now go ahead and talk about things that we worked on that we're wrapping up in the next month that we'll be putting into our upgrade filing next. Really important things. So right now, we're focusing on doing the launch of the apps, which is something we've been preparing for. There was just changes that were being done, but we're pretty much ready to go on the launch and PR marketing. There's also some PR and that's come out already. I think the articles have been shared with the community. Um, I, as some of you have known from the previous AMAs, I met one of the directors who's in the National Committee of the Red Cross in Mexico at the ceremony where they gave us our honorary doctorates, and we ended up talking about doing something at a large scale with Doc.com, and that's something that we can now proceed and go ahead and do. Went from just talks, initial talks, to actually coming to terms for a deal structure, and we are signing that agreement. We'll have that signed, and we're going to be updating our filing after Reg A is approved. Essentially, a week after that, roughly a week after that, we're adding a whole bunch of things that are happening right now in this month timeline to the filing, and upgrading it to an S1, and then listing. So that's essentially the next steps. The bulk of the work, the hardest part, was already done. So this is all that work that we did to structure everything, to do the filing. That was done. The audit, that was the most painful part of it all. But we got it done, and it's allowing us to do the next stage of things as we described in our filing. We'll be launching the services. Now, there's three main things that we're adding to ensure that we have a robust user base, and we also have strong growth moving forwards. First is we have two contracts and a few assets that we're actually putting in. The scope of it all is basically we're having pharmaceutical assets that we have that we'll be developing, and we have the rights to sell internationally these drugs. That's something very, very important because it impacts our financial model significantly, and it shows how big we can grow in the next 2 to 5 years with just that aspect. The second are the contracts that we have for users. So the Red Cross I mentioned because it's pretty large, the scope of this. What we have already set up with our services, which is basically giving the free telemedicine, free basic healthcare, and selling over the counter and pharmaceutical products as well as other products. That's our platform we're going to be offering our services through the Red Cross to all the Red Cross's patient population in Mexico. So we're starting off in the state of Mexico, which is the largest state in Mexico, and then expanding on that to other regions in the country very rapidly. That's the agreement that we came to. That's for Mexico. That provides us a steady flow of at least 1 to 2 million users, which is pretty huge. People that will be integrating to Doc.com services, and we expect on the low end, conservatively, at least 1 to 3% of the population to use our services. We're obviously going to push for more, but that's like a conservative estimate based on the need that people have. Now, one of the advantages of this is that there are different regulations outside of the U.S. for our services, and we can actually expand on our rewards mechanism and things like that outside of the U.S. We can, even though everything will still be disclosed, it doesn't come into conflict with any laws, and we can go ahead and do that, which benefits everything we're doing for transparency and on the blockchain side. It benefits the LifeChain Foundation. That's something that's very beneficial, and it's directly related to our growth plan and our contract that we have with the Red Cross. Now, I think it's very significant because from the past experience, the experience that I had in the past, and we had this experience with TracFone Wireless, a similar type of experience where it's a very big contract with very big potential to grow, but they had, back then there was many things that could have been done differently, and this time around we're doing it much better. Everything, the terms of the deal are much better. It's very straightforward, and it's something that we see that will benefit hugely a lot of people, and we'll be able to get our services to a lot of people, provide free basic healthcare, and also create a very sustainable and scalable business through that user population from the Red Cross. So that's something that's very, very positive. We also have a pharmaceutical drug asset. I think I've mentioned this in the past. That's something that I can't right now say exactly what it is, but it will be put into our next filing. Hopefully, maybe by the next AMA or 2 AMAs from now, I can go into further detail. But I want everyone to know that what we're doing is we're starting with a really strong baseline pre-listing. So we'll be launching the services, having contracts that ensure our growth, and having additional pharmaceutical assets that we can develop and sell to our user base, and also to outside of our user base as well, to increase sales through traditional pharmacies and things like that. So really it's another business vertical that we're executing on. And it's also very, very significant because of the need for these types of medications. They're chronic diseases and cancer, things like that. And there's a global need for that. So it makes sense for us to be able to offer these at a low cost. Now, we're not doing this like a traditional pharma company or healthcare company where there's enormous margins and everything that's harder to access for people. We're actually doing this so we can offer a significantly lower price point for these treatments than what's currently out there in the market. I mean, I'm talking about a tenth of what these treatments cost, and that's in line with our vision to achieve free basic healthcare and offer accessible low cost services to the general population for things that are commonly seen. Free basic healthcare it's just that. It's basic. We cover basic necessities. These types of medications are also geared towards large groups. So, for example, diabetes, which within the realm of chronic diseases is probably the largest or one of the largest, things like that that we can focus on to have, everyone knows somebody that is diabetic. That's those are the kind of things that we're going after, the things that a lot of people suffer from, and that we can reduce the cost dramatically. Uh, so, it makes it more accessible for not only people in the US, but also outside of the US and worldwide. So really that's those are the kind of pharmaceutical assets that we're acquiring, um, and we're doing that. Now there's a third contract. I mentioned this earlier in the year, that we were working on. That's also going to be wrapped up and will be included in our next filing. We are going to be offering a uh, software suite for clinics and healthcare professionals, not only just to give telemedicine, but to do additional things. Um, and we're doing this really to showcase how we can optimize a lot of these aspects of healthcare with artificial intelligence. So, as if some of you remember an AMA, I think it was four AMAs ago, or maybe more, probably more. I think when we did the demo of our artificial intelligence tool and how it captures the full consultation, analyzes it, and then gives suggestions on improvements, etc. That same aspect we're applying to essentially all levels and all aspects of the company, from an administrative standpoint, from a growth standpoint, analytics, etc. Um, we're going to be pushing for that. So we're actually planning on, in the next couple of weeks, starting to expand the development team and add more team members to focus on these things, and create these different black boxes or tools that can be used individually, but benefit the whole, in general. So this will all be linked up, with every time there's a transaction, there'll be a blockchain hash. Um, Daniel and I have talked about already extensively of how we're going to be building that, how the life chain will be showcasing the hashes, because LifeChain has their own mission, but obviously it'll be a great example for us to show utility in MTC, and also to showcase the benefits of transparency using blockchain technology. So these are the things right now that we're basically doing. The most immediate thing is launching the services. We just did our filing recently, a little bit over a week ago, and so it's been just all, kicking off all these things very quickly. Um, so it's looking very, very good. Obviously, I can now, we know that we've been working on our funding, and we have non-binding term sheets signed. That's going to translate to long format agreements. That's also going to come up in our next update to the filing. So we have all these things now that are kicking in, that we can wrap up. That this is the moment where we're making that transition from the filing that we have now to adding their assets, adding the contracts, adding everything that we can add during this time period. We have to take advantage of this month and a half, uh, while we get approved. So as of now, we already received response from the SEC. Everything is going smoothly, very good. We're hoping to have this approved, hopefully faster than the usual month to month and a half that they take. It looks like it's going that route, but we still have to wait till the end, till it's approved. Either way, the most important thing right now is to do the launch of the services, because whatever clarifications and whatever's necessary to get approved will be clarified, and so our filing will be approved. And we plan on doing our next filing soon after that, literally within a week or two after our filing is approved. We're going to upgrade it to an S1 filing. So that's how we're doing it. We'll be sharing a link to everyone in the community for the shares to fulfill our requirements that we need to fulfill. So you can invite people that believe in our mission and believe in the company, what we're doing, to buy small packages of shares at a very attractive price point, very discounted price point. That has to happen as soon as we have the Reg A approved. We can share that link with everyone, and we'll be offering 3 different packages for people both inside and outside of the U.S. People outside of the U.S. will be signing a Regulation S document, a Reg S, and people within the U.S. that are U.S. citizens will be signing the Reg A. So it's pretty much the same thing. It just applies if you're a U.S. citizen or if you're not a U.S. citizen, but essentially you can still get shares the same way. So these are the things that are coming up next. I recently had a meeting with the director of Red Cross, and there's many amazing things that we plan on doing in regards to AI that are not just related to telemedicine, but a lot of hospitalization things that we can implement relatively rapidly. Things like creating new diagnostic tools for example, cataracts in the eye, and many other things that happen. The important thing here for us as a benefit, where there's a dual benefit here. One thing is that the Red Cross currently in many countries outside of the US is not fully digitized, which is incredible to think. They still do a lot or most of the things on paper. So, when a patient comes in, you sit down in the waiting room, you have to fill out a form. They file that form. They save it in a filing folder. The doctors pass around a folder for that patient. It's very traditional in that sense, but it's very inefficient as well, and it increases wait times and increases costs, many things. So we're actually going to be developing a custom, very innovative system optimized with AI with the Red Cross, and it's the idea is that we can expand on it, create additional AI tools that help the healthcare professionals give better treatment and improve patient outcomes. But it's also something that we can quickly show results in and expand to other countries. So that's really the more mid to long-term goal with the Red Cross, that we can develop these things, expand them throughout Mexico, and then say, hey, look, this did great in Mexico. Let's put this into all these other countries where the Red Cross is present. And that's really what we're shooting for. What we'll be starting with will be just launching our services with the Red Cross to their patient population, and doing constant, creating constant awareness for patients on that. But we expect it to be pretty fast growing, just because the need is so enormous, and we're covering the basic necessities that people need. Telemedicine and pharmaceuticals and over-the-counter products, those are things that they already consume. It's already something it's low-hanging fruit for us. So that's where we're starting off. But we're all very excited, and the team at the Red Cross is very excited about the kind of great innovations that we can do, having access to full healthcare system. And that is something incredible. So while we grow in users, we launch, we're doing marketing and promotion and growing our user base in the US. Then we go ahead and do that in Mexico with the Red Cross and to the general population. While we're doing that, we're also creating a new hospitalization system for the Red Cross that's optimized with AI, where people can we can create black boxes essentially. So even though our system may be integrated to the whole healthcare system of the Red Cross, we can take the black box, for example, that I used with cataracts, we can take that and we can actually license that out, and that becomes another revenue stream for us. And it's built in conjunction with the Red Cross. Now, the Red Cross in this case is benefiting, they're receiving royalties. Obviously, has to be very, very, very clean, and it's just, what we decided on is just doing something very straightforward across the board, set a royalty, and that's the way we're doing with the Red Cross. The Red Cross is also in great need of this because, they depend mostly on donations to survive. And right now they've been doing a big initiative to remodel their hospitals, remodel their clinics, and, update them to, world-class standards. So, people, when they arrive, they have a great experience, healthcare experience. A lot of people don't think that of the Red Cross. Some people don't even know that the Red Cross has, full out hospitals in different regions of the world. But essentially, that's what they're working on right now. They already remodeled multiple of their hospitals in Mexico. They're adding all new equipment, the best you can get, and they want to have even the beds and the suites where patients, post-op patients, post-operation patients, where they stay in, all that they're converting them, making it really nice, and very comparable to some of the best hospitals in the world. And I think that's a really great initiative for the Red Cross. But we're participating in conjunction to do this. It's something that we're pushing forwards with to do, basically revamp the whole Red Cross jointly, and benefit more people, expand the reach of Doc.com services, and also expand our product offering that we'll be creating jointly with the Red Cross. So these are things that we're basically going to put into our filing after our current filing is approved. When we do the upgrade to the S1, we're listing all those things in there, and it's very exciting. I mean, it's amazing, really, to do this. I see this as another big win for us, but also I know that we can execute on this very smoothly, just based on the previous experience. I think we have all the ingredients to do this really, really nicely in a great way, and we'll be proceeding with that. I'm going to look at the questions here. I see there's some. Let's see. Okay, Quentin has. Can you be more specific on the 3 packages of shares that will be available? Sure. The packages, what we're doing is we're offering $20, $40, and $60 packages. So basically, you can just go in, digitally sign the document, and put in your identification, upload it, and then you can pay with a debit card or credit card. Those are the packages that we're offering in shares, basically at the established value of the Reg A that we just filed. So those are 3 packages. Obviously, we have to keep it low because we want to protect, we want to increase our shareholder base. Obviously, we have to do that. We have to bring in more people and create more support. But we also want something that gives a good upside or a great upside for everyone, because really that's an enormous upside, but also protects the stock. We don't want to have everyone just coming out of the gates and dumping. And honestly, because of past experiences, as you all know, it's something that we have to protect a lot, and we have to ensure that we can have a great company, we can have great services, but we also have to perform well in the market. And that's something that we can mitigate if we do all the trading strategy the right way. And that's something that we thought of from the very beginning. So it's nice. That's why there's limits in the packages. But if someone wants to invest a larger amount, then we can issue a convertible note. Like many of you have already participated in. A lot of the community members have invested through a convertible note. We can do that for larger amounts. The terms are different there. So those are the 2 options that we have. Let's see. Ellie asks, can we pay by wire transfer? Yes, you can. You can pay by wire transfer, no problem. We just made it easier for people to do it with digitally, but if someone decides that they have to do it through wire transfer, there's no issue with that. That's also completely doable. How do you get the shares to your brokerage account if you don't buy them through it? We're going to be using a transfer agent to do that. It's actually a requirement pre-listing. Once people have their, I'm going to center myself here. Just noticed that I was off. Once people have their documents signed, and we have all their information, which we do for everyone that's invested so far. We have your IDs and your, all the requirements that are necessary for KYC, et cetera. What happens after that is the transfer agent will actually distribute the shares to people to their brokerage accounts or to their bank accounts. What you need to have is an account that can hold shares. And you can either do that if you're within the US, you can, for example, open up an account in Robinhood or any brokerage account, E-Trade, and open up an account there. And you can invest. You can hold your shares there. Some people like to do it in their own bank accounts. If you have a bank account and you've never actually had shares in the past, a lot of people have actually have. We have many some shareholders of ours are people from Latin America and outside of the US, and they have sent me messages in private saying, hey, I don't know where to keep these shares and stuff. But most big banks allow you to open up a brokerage account with them. So the easiest route would be that. Now, always check what their fees are, because that's something that usually people sometimes get shocked by the kinds of fees these organizations, these companies charge. But basically, it's you can hold them in any brokerage account or bank account. They usually give you a DTC number, and that becomes your account number for shares, and that's where the transfer agent will be sending the shares to you. At the moment that they're listed, that we're listed on the NASDAQ, when that happens, we will, you as a shareholder will be able to trade shares the same way anyone can trade shares. You can call up your broker, or you can do it yourself online. You'll be able to trade your shares. If there's, if your shares have no restrictions, then you can trade them. If you have restrictions, like a lockup period through the convertible note, for example, then you have to wait for that. But essentially, the packages that will be coming out and the links that will be coming out with the Reg A as soon as it's approved, those are free trading shares. So there is no restrictions on those shares, which basically means that you can buy or sell them at any moment after listing. Let's see. I'm looking at other questions here. Saving account for MTC. That's a good suggestion, Richard. There's lots of interesting things that we have planned for MTC on the LifeChain Foundation side that are really decentralized. I mean, it's just fully decentralized. I think that's how it should be, really, on the front. So, it's just creating those smart contracts and building them the right way. But that's really everything related to that, or staking pools and things like that. Whatever's decentralized, that's what the LifeChain Foundation's focusing on. They'll be offering those tools to the user base, to everyone that has MTC. And that's a great idea. I mean, it's essentially what we want to do is the LifeChain Foundation is focused on decentralizing healthcare data, hashing services for transparency, and creating additional blockchain tools to benefit companies to increase transparency, fulfill good missions that help people. Those things the LifeChain Foundation will be doing, and we'll be doing it as decentralized as possible. So it has that benefit, and that's done. Now, it's not to say that Doc.com's reward mechanism won't have, you won't be able to see your balance on the app. That's just a given. But the moment you translate that outside of Doc.com, that's when it becomes decentralized, and that's where the LifeChain basically handles that aspect of it. Do we have an exact date for services launch? Well, I can give you a range of dates. Essentially, we're waiting on one update right now. We're also going to be updating the website as well. If people have seen the apps already, they're already up on the App Store. Everything that we can do on the apps, we'll be able to do on the website, and there'll be some additional information there. There's going to be a section for investors as well. You know, these things that we have to build out right now. But basically, we're ready to go as far as the launch goes. There's some minute things that were changed in these past days that were already done. Little bugs here and there that got fixed. But we were just waiting on on legal to wrap up what they had to do. But we're pretty much ready to go. I want us to launch next week. If we have everything ready by Monday or Tuesday, then we'd be definitely doing the launch and, you know, having the first group of doctors and everything, so we can start going ahead and giving consultations and selling products and doing the full cycle that the apps are built for. So, you know, it should be within the next week or two, the launch of the services. And it's one of the immediate things. That's really the most immediate thing that we have to do right now is that. There's other things that we're doing on a contractual basis, partnerships, etc. Basically, it's the ones that I just already mentioned. And so we plan on launching very, very soon the services. You know, that's really the most important thing. It's also the most important thing because that's where we showcase what we're doing. You know, people will be able to say, well, plans sound great, but look, here's the services that are working, you know, as we you know, had in the past and back in the old days. Same thing, you know, right now the business model is completely different. It's a whole new business, really. But keeping those essential things is, and really what I want most people to see is free basic healthcare. I really want, it's just such a big impact for everyone that uses it. That's what I want to be showcased. I also want the actual business model to be showcased, how the products are being sold, how we are getting new vendors in. So just yesterday, there was a product that was offered to me. They had great success with it. It was a clay mask. It's not a prescription drug or anything. It was a clay mask. You know, rejuvenates your skin and things like that. Not anything that I personally use, but I know a lot of women use these products. And they were telling me, hey, you know, we developed this unique product. They've had great sales. I think they sold over $4 million worth in 2022, which is pretty cool for a relatively new product. And they wanted to put it into the Doc.com marketplace. They said, hey, do you think your healthcare professionals would potentially suggest this? I said, of course, you know, if it's truly beneficial, it doesn't have to be a prescription drug, but we'll be adding products like those. That's the idea, that we have a great assortment of products, that they're promoted in a unique way as well, that we can do campaigns focused on certain types of pathologies or needs, and also draw in people to draw in vendors to the Doc.com marketplace. So anyone that creates new products and wants to sell them, we will be another option for people to sell their products on. So basically, you know how all these marketplaces on the internet work. The differentiator, great differentiator that we have is our service, you know, our services. So that's we want to draw people in and vendors with different products. And those are the two things. As long as we show our services and we show that we're selling products, those are the two main things that we have to prove out right now, and we have to launch. So that's just launching the apps. You know, it's as simple as that. And we're pretty much ready to go. We took we did all the hard work to structure everything correctly, do an audit, and be ready for this next stage. And we're doing it the right way. I mean, this is the best way we could have done it. I think, you know, it really puts us in a position that it's a very healthy position to be in. It was very hard work too. So it was an eye opener on many fronts. But it's right now it's basically execution from this point on forwards. executing these next things. We already have the baseline. We already did our filing and our audit and everything. So right now it's rock and roll, basically the next stage. And I wake up every day excited for what's to come. There's just so many cool things that are kicking in now because we did our filing, and that's what's going on. I mean, I've been wanting to talk about the ideas that we have, all the plans more deeply, but more, like what I just mentioned with the Red Cross, go into detail with these things. These are things that we can now pursue. We can now sign contracts. We can now really push forward to what our plans were, as were described in the filing. That's what we have to do. So we're doing that now, and it's a great time to be doing this. Ending the year with the services functioning, with products being sold, with people getting help. I also think it's a great time to launch. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and we have flu season, and we have all these things that people use healthcare services for. They're right now coming up. So it's a good time for us to launch as well. It's a good timing. It took us, we got delayed with the audit. It took us much longer than we originally expected it to. Then again, it was just much, that's how it goes with these things. And it ended up being that kind of coincided with us launching at a great time. So that's really right now, that's the main focus, is to just wrap that up and launch and proceed to the next step. So everything else is already ongoing. We're just pending approval right now from the SEC for our recent filing. That should be wrapped up soon. And I really hope that as far as I understand, they have analysts that read everything, they review everything. They're regulators, and they have to ensure everything's in check. And I'm very confident that what we did is very, very in check, and it was done very well to be quickly approved. But whatever it takes, we'll get that done. So it's pending approval, and we really want to speed things up next. And like I mentioned in the last AMAs, the hardest part was what we just got done. So that was the hardest part. The next steps after this, they're easier, because it's about execution. It's more operations. It's not so much, structure and legal. So the hardest part was what we did right now. The next ones are much easier to do, and we did the bulk of the work now. That was with our previous filing. Let's see. Looking at another question here, Richard. Looking at you talked to DocBot. All right. Sure. If Richard, I'm looking at your comment here, and you say you've spoken to Quentin. If you have suggestions, they're always welcome. Many of the things that we've done have been greatly influenced by the community, as everyone here knows. So, suggestions and anything like that are always welcome. It's actually an amazing feedback loop to have with everyone. And we do the best we can to achieve those things, and some things we may not do as fast or but we're always trying to do the best. And a lot of that is suggestions that come from the community, and see how fast we can implement these things. So any suggestions are always welcome and open. I have always wanted this to be a very collaborative process and have a feedback loop with the community, and also grow our community. So, really the pillars of the company and what we're doing, which are our services, our services, our performance, our marketing and PR. Those are things that have been greatly influenced by the community. So, that's anything is good. We want to expand to other things. There's potential for us to not only offer our healthcare services, but also translate that into additional services that are non-healthcare related. It's not a decision that we've made yet. It's just some ideas that we've been exploring, but imagine you being a doc.com user. You go and use our services, and you get consultation. You get a prescription drug, and let's say you were diabetic, or someone in your family is a diabetic, or you buy a medication, a certain type of medication on a regular basis for your family. It's comfortable to transfer that same user experience and add an additional service, for example, hey, maybe you want to open up a doc.com debit card, or maybe you want to use a doc.com phone plan. So those are things that we're exploring right now, and it's really cool because we can do that. Obviously, our focus will always be healthcare, because that's where our mission is focused on. But these things make our user base more robust and offer additional services, and we can leverage what we have as a growing user base because of our free basic healthcare services to offer these additional services. So, really, this next stage is launching, executing on the first, growth of users, those plans, locking in more agreements and partnerships to increase our user base, and really using the funds that that we have access to develop better products that increase their revenue streams, and that also provide more benefit to the user population, lower costs, and innovate with technology. There's just so many amazing things that we can do now, and also make it a true utility. Make this something that people can have full confidence that when you look at it and you use a service, that the whole hierarchy of operation is transparent, and there's a hash that accompanies every aspect of that whole process. So you have a consultation, there's data taken down, there's a blockchain hash for that. You buy a product, and it's sent to your home, there's a blockchain hash for both of those things. There's a new update for a product that's uploaded, or a new vendor that comes on, there's a hash for that as well. And so basically it makes the whole machine, because I really view this as a machine, a technology machine, that all the steps on it are accompanied with a hash, and people can view these and they can analyze it and they can compare us and they can do that. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, because we want to be considered that baseline utility for everyone. Say, I can always trust doc.com services. They do an amazing, great job, and it's very transparent. If there's any errors along the way, they're quickly identifiable. And this is where we're leveraging transparency for using blockchain technology. Though that's ultimately what our healthcare services will be as a baseline, and we're building on top of that. So there's many other cool things that we can do. Let's see, will doc.com be purchasing any pharmaceuticals and placing on marketplace or company's direct list only? No, we actually have both options. So in the app, you have all the vendors that come in and sign up as vendors. And then you also have the Doc Pharma marketplace, where basically the Doc Pharma vendor, which is us ourselves directly, the products that we ourselves are selling directly to our user base. So it's a mix. It's a mix, really. It's both options. So we will be selling some of our own branded products, and also allowing vendors to put up their products themselves. So it's a combination of both, and that's really important for us because we want to foment growth in the vendor space. We want people to consider us. Well, just think about it this way. If you're a person, like I just used that example of the face mask, if you're a person that creates a product like that and you think, wow, this would be great to sell to people, instead of doing the traditional way where you're promoting it to digital marketing or social media and things like that, like trying to convince people to buy your product, well, you can do that, but you can also add it to the doc.com marketplace and now have potentially doctors, psychologists, or if it's a pet product, veterinarians recommend your product. I mean, That's amazing for someone just creating a product right off the bat. I don't know of any other marketplace that offers something like that. And that's the unique aspect of free basic healthcare. It really not only helps people, but it also provides a great incentive for people to create and add and become vendors of the Doc.com marketplace. So that's a big differentiator for us, and it's something that we're focusing on. And they're disconnected from an actual operational standpoint. We don't want any influence over the doctors. We're not going to force them to promote anything. But they have to recommend and prescribe products or suggest products, and they'll do what's of their best critique. So they will say, hey, this is a product that's on Doc.com marketplace, try it out. It's, if they believe that it's worth it and it works, and they'll do it. So it's up to them ultimately, but that's the kind of access that we're giving people, and that's the innovation in the service. Really, I've always thought it's using first principle thinking. What is the most simplest way that we can create something that really helps people? And this is it. I mean, the offering telemedicine services like this, being able to sell products, it's not something you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. Basically, we're having healthcare professionals, helping people, also giving that benefit to vendors, so their products can be potentially suggested or prescribed by these healthcare professionals that are part of the Doc.com platform. Let's see. Stem cell research. Sure, Richard. If you, I'm looking here. Richard is saying that he saw a company that's in stem cell. Can you guys hear me still? Can you hear me still? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, sorry. I thought someone just tried to call me. Yes, anything that you guys see out there, they think, wow, this would be a great thing, or it's a great innovation for aging, for, anything healthcare related, for pets as well. If you see products that are out there that need that extra push, this is a great time for them to consider us as a great marketplace for them. So you could tell that company, hey, how about selling your patches through the Doc.com marketplace? We can set up that meeting, or they can go ahead and apply through the vendor app, upload their products, and if there's needs to be more clarification on their products, we would reach out to them. But it's as automated as possible for companies like that to download the vendor's app, upload their products, and submit them for approval. And if it's necessary, then we reach out to them to learn more about the product before it's uploaded on the marketplace. But we've made it very simple, so it can be done directly on the app, and it's easy for vendors. So if you know of any great things out there, there's lots of great products or services out there. There's ointments that use CBD now. There's stem cell products like you're mentioning. There's just so many cool new things out there. If you see anything that would be a great addition to the Doc.com marketplace, please go ahead and share with us, or tell them. This is a great moment for us to do that. We'll also be doing promoting to increase our vendors. That's some of the marketing campaigns that are coming out. But that's the idea, that we offer a curated product offering, really cool stuff that really helps people in the end, as along with traditional items as well. Let's see, with all these services, will we be some sort of mesh? KP, I don't know what you exactly mean by that, but if you want to post something, I'll clarify that too. Let's see, phones to seniors. That's huge. I've said it many, many times. Quentin just mentioned here that it's phones to seniors. The elderly population is a growing population. All the baby boomers now are, transitioning they're mostly, a lot of them are seniors already, and it's just the growing population. This has been known for years now, and I've mentioned it many times in my talks and things like that. That um, if anyone that has ever seen Dan Penna, he's this kind of motivational business philosopher speaker. He's there on YouTube, very aggressive kind of talks. Great, he's got some really great talks. Um, some years ago, he said that one of the best sectors to grow in these days is healthcare, particularly because of the growing elderly population. And he's very right. It's the elderly population is growing. It has to be attended to, and it's low hanging fruit. So that's definitely a target that we're targeting, and it's part of our PR marketing plans. We already have PR marketing designed to target that population along with other populations, but we have really strong celebrities that have a good audience there, and we plan on executing there. We're actually trying to cover all age groups. See, in the next 2 weeks, we'll be launching the US. What about Latin America and Mexico? Will MTC be used directly to launch discounts or rewards for non-US users? So right now, the focus is US. That's a great question, Ellie. Right now, the focus is US. We have to focus on this. This is where it matters right now the most, especially considering that we're going up to listing, and we want to launch Mexico as soon as possible. So we had scoped out that in month 7 we'd be launching Latin America, or basically Mexico, starting off with Mexico. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it way earlier than that. But the focus right now is the US. And it's because our pharmacy partners, our billing partners, everything that we recently built was, it's designed to work in many places, but we went through all the legal structure to do it the right way in the US, and that was the biggest challenge. So we actually started with the hardest part first, which is the US, because the US is the most regulated country in healthcare in the world. So we're focusing on the US, and we want to rapidly launch Mexico, and that's also why doing this with the Red Cross speeds things up on that front. So if we can do this, if we can grow rapidly in the US or launch in the US, once we get our Reg approved and we update our filing, obviously it's a beneficial thing for us to be launching our services along with the Red Cross, and it's something that can happen relatively soon. So instead of waiting until month 7, we could probably do it in month 3. That'll be determined. But right now, I would rather not tell everyone, well, we already know exactly when, because we're focused right now on launching the US. So that's a short-term target, and that's the most important thing that we have to do right now. But yes, definitely Latin America is, and like I mentioned the Red Cross because of that, because Mexico and Latin America is a big thing. Hey, I'm from Mexico. A lot of the team members are Mexican, even though we're a U.S. company now and doing this. I mean, Mexico will always have a piece of my heart, and Latin America in general. Let's see. If you need boxes with Doc.com on it, I'm your guy. We actually do, Richard. Send me a DM if you can. I don't know if you're based, I assume you're based in the US, but we actually do need product boxes for products, and for our products and our self-branded products. It's something we could build out. So please reach out. Obviously, you have to consider that we're doing this as a public company, so we would have to go through a process and look at bidders. But hey, first comers are always. There's a saying in Spanish, el que pega primero pega dos veces, and it means the one who hits first hits twice as hard. So we haven't seen anyone yet as of that. It would be great help, and it's lovely that you're part of the community. So please reach out to me on DM, and we will see what we can do there for our self-branded products. Let's see. Back to purchase of pharmaceuticals. Yes, Quentin, I see your messages here in regards to purchase of pharmaceuticals. There's definitely a lot of opportunity there, especially on the marketing front, and especially telling companies, hey, we can promote your products through their marketplace and give us a special discount. That's definitely in the plans. And I know those are great ideas that you have. We have a lot of talk. We have a lot of cool things to talk about, Quentin. I look forward to our next talks. Some of you may know that we've had multiple talks, Quentin and I, and great ideas, and I really just can't wait to get going with some of these things. When we had to do a lot of stuff to get to this point, but now we can proceed with this and start executing on some of these ideas. But definitely, we can offer many incentives to vendors or to pharmaceutical companies, so we can get special pricing for people. And that's the idea, that we ultimately give the best pricing in the market for pharmaceuticals, that we're giving free basic healthcare, and it's just a great new kind of new experience in healthcare for people. Okay. Any update on the website launch and LifeChain Foundation? Yes. The website has to be fully redone. Well, I mean, it's already that's already in the plans. I actually had a meeting about that yesterday. I know that some of you have reached out and said, hey, the site definitely needs to change. And you're completely right about that. The dev team was focused on the apps because obviously that's what we're launching on. We're launching the apps, and that's what we're planning on getting their user base. And the idea is everything that you can do on the app, you can do on the website. So, and have including Doc Chat, our chatbot, AI chatbot. So those are the site's going to be revamped, and there's a couple of new developers that are coming in to do that this coming week. So the whole website will be redone. We're planning on launching first. So the sequence will be launching the apps, or they're already up on the App Store, but we're doing an official launch with healthcare professionals already functioning there. That's the next thing that's happening. In parallel to that, the dev team will be redoing the site. So the marketplace is up there as well, and we have an access to telemedicine services through desktop, which is pretty cool. You can do it from your computer instead of using the app. But that's the idea, that people can go and do anything that you can do on the apps, you can also do on the website. So that's what will be done. The LifeChain Foundation, it's a separate team. There is some obviously involvement from myself and Daniel and people that are helping out from the dev team and things like that. But it's a much lighter build. The LifeChain Foundation site, the initial site is actually already done. There's what really has to be built on the LifeChain Foundation is more on the smart contract side and actually doing those things. But Daniel and I had talked about this. It's not something that we think would take more than 60 days to build the functionality into the LifeChain's website. There's two people that are be leading it. One is a doctor. He's going to be the leader of the foundation. And so all of those things have already been thought through and done. We just had to wait for things. I mean, we had to do the filing, and we have to do this the right way, so we're compliant. And I've mentioned this many times. We don't want to. We are a healthcare company, a healthcare technology company. That's what people should really consider us. Always, we will always do anything to improve, to expand, to achieve our mission of free basic healthcare. And that's what people have to understand. It's very important that we get certain things done first before we really push all the blockchain related aspects, the crypto economy. I'll give you one example. A lot of the bankers on Wall Street, the investment bankers, they're afraid these days. I mean, it's crazy how it goes, how with all the things that have happened in the crypto space. They're afraid of the word crypto. A lot of them are just like, oh, anything crypto related, just like don't even bring it here. And I think is a really sad thing, because they disregard the reach of the technology, of blockchain technology, and all the potential upside and the huge benefits for people, for transparency. And so, then, suddenly the market turns and now everyone's talking about it. Then it goes down again. This this constant cycle with everything that's blockchain related is we're still going through that, which is very indicative of early years of any technology. So the most important thing for us is to showcase our healthcare services and ensure that our business model is functioning well, and that we have we're doing things right, so it's compliant and well done, so no one has issues with anything. So if you purchase MTC and you're seeing the utility, it's something that you can clearly see. It's not something that's super complex that's hard to understand. I mean, you know that the utility is coming from hashing healthcare services where there's data transactions. You know that it's coming from product sales. You know that that's something that's an important metric for any public company to be reporting, you know, sales metrics, user metrics. Those are the things that where blockchain can shine. You know, blockchain is really not a difficult thing to understand. You're essentially registering something publicly, any action publicly in a decentralized way, but it's something that's really the fundamental thing that it does. So we have to do this under a compliance structure because of the whole economic aspect of it, and that's why we have to do these things in sequence. I would have loved for certain things to have been done first or previously, but then we have to be mindful of the times that we're in, and we don't want any kind of anything strange happening. We have to do this clearly. We have to disclose things. It's very important for us, and ultimately that'll lead to creating more value for everyone and benefiting people. And that's what we want. Not only benefiting our investors because of the transparency aspect, but also kind of educating people on the benefits of blockchain technology, saying, hey, this is a true use case. Here you go. It's a very innovative use case in comparison to what's out there. That's where we want to lead. And we've had multiple talks. I've talked about this multiple times, but I think we have it very clear on what are the next steps for that, what kind of smart contracts have to be created, what the LifeChain has to do, and that'll be done. But first, we have to launch the services. That's a more short term. I still don't think that we will, the LifeChain will be more than 30 days out. Our focus was so intensely on doing our last filing and going through that audit that, now we got that done. Now we can go ahead and proceed with these things. And so that's the plan. Right now we're going to do launch and revamp the Doc.com website, the LifeChain's website. We can post it up relatively soon, and it should be up there before the next 30 days or so. Let's see. Is there any further color around the AI partnerships you can share? Really, it's not an AI partnership. It's more in line with we're doing our own developments using third-party AI tools, but we're using Amazon's AI tools, OpenAI's as well. It's not so much in the end, you have the tool there. It's how you use it really matters, and we're using it for things that are very cool and very unique, and that are helping us optimize many things. So going deeper into the AI aspect, when we did the demo a month or two ago, that Alex came on, showed us an example. That's what we're starting off with. So basically, we're doing analytics of the consultation and doing suggestions to doctors so they can improve their performance, they can improve patient outcomes, but also give a better or more faster consultation, because time really, really matters within our model. We have to be able to treat people in a very effective but speedy way. And AI is going to help on that. Now, our partnership with the Red Cross means that we're using the data that the Red Cross has and that they have constantly coming in to create AI tools to improve patient outcomes and to uh, optimize their whole healthcare system. And those are things that it's a great variety of things. So we have things like diagnostic tools, cataracts, for example. Scan an eye. You can see that an eye is developing a cataract at an earlier stage potentially. That and many other things. I mean, that's just one small example. The other thing is maybe you say, hey, look, the AI is detecting that, from an administrative standpoint, you have X amount of patients coming into this hospital, and it seems that the AI helps us figure out how we can reduce certain aspects of the administrative journey. How the data is taking in, how they're linked up to their emails and things like that. There's many things that AI can help in making those decisions so we can optimize that as much as possible. And that's why it's so great that we're starting with a system that's currently on paper. We don't have to battle through an established system. And that's extremely important to understand and for everyone to see. So having a healthcare system, a complete healthcare system that's still running mostly on paper, and creating a whole new, fresh, innovative system using first principles, using AI, that's what we're doing. As opposed to, in comparison to, going to, let's say, a hospital system in the US, where they already have things like Epic, like, these enormous legacy EHR systems that are extremely complex. Some people hate using them. My mother, for example, worked at the Yale New Haven hospital, and she used to complain about Epic. And she was one of the few people that kind of really knew how to work it well. So they would always ask her for help. But she was just like, wow, this is so convoluted. It's so complex. But they're tied into it. They have long-term contracts with Epic, and they're enormous contracts. And you think, wow, just because they're locked into it, they can't make these beneficial changes. So that's why I see it as a great benefit for us to do this with the Red Cross, because we're essentially creating something that's fresh and new, and it's innovative on many fronts. And it's something that also we can sell through the reseller network with one of our other contracts. So I mentioned that we were working with a reseller, one of the largest in the world, to sell our software service or license out our softwares. And that's really where we create products that create the bottom, can bring revenue to the bottom line for doc.com, that we're creating with the Red Cross. So if we say, all right, we created these diagnostic tools with the Red Cross, we can go ahead and license those out and sell them to other healthcare systems, to other clinics and hospitals. It's same thing on the administrative front. Hey, we created these tools, they work really great, they improve patient outcomes, or they reduce costs. They use AI to do X or Y thing. That partnership with the Red Cross, where we're creating these things, allows us to create these products that we can sell and license out and create more revenue for the company. So it's just imagine the amount of products that can be done having access to a whole healthcare system. I mean, it's incredible. There's, OBGYN stuff, there's ophthalmology, there's nutrition, there's, cancer, oncology. There's just so many things that we can create that are really cool. And that's really where the vision is from the Red Cross's perspective as well. They say, well, we might as well use everything that we have, this constant patient flow, to create these products and services that are benefiting not only people from the Red Cross, but also benefit the Red Cross as a new revenue stream, and also help people all over the world. And that's really the long-term vision of our partnership with them. So a lot of this is just, it's very exciting because we can use AI to do these things and make it create really cool products that help a lot of people, aside from free basic healthcare. Let's see. I'm looking at your last comment here. A tool is better because you can create yourself. Hump the AI tool. Yeah, Gene, and going to back to Gene's comment and in regards to AI tools, um, AI tools nowadays, you may think, I mean, some you could sit down if you have just a little bit of, programming kind of skills, you could easily sit down and create an AI tool relatively quickly, potentially within a matter of minutes. And that's because, since ChatGPT came out or language-based AIs came out, which can generate code, it really just makes people take enormous leaps into creating code and creating new tools as well. So the thing is that, everyone has access to this now, and it's really more of a race against who can get the right data sets, um, to create these really amazing tools that give 90% or more uh, precision in their results. So what I mean by that is, if you just using that same cataract example, if you scan an eye, the AI should be able to tell with 95% or more uh, accuracy if you have a growing cataract, or you will be having one. And there's so many things where AI applies there in healthcare, and so we can create these tools relatively quickly. And it's because the reach of the technology is very different now. So it's really a race to see who can create these tools, and the first ones to create these tools will be the ones that benefit the most. Now, a lot of that, or I would say, what are the key ingredients to make that happen um, is having access to the data sets, and that's why it was so critical and important for us to do such a deal with a healthcare system, because that's where the flow of data comes from. And if you look at the top, what people consider the top AI companies in the world right now, there's one in particular. It's led by an Asian individual. I don't remember his name, but one of basically what they do is they just have an enormous, I think, over 1,000 people doing what is called data tagging, and they are just basically compiling the data and saying this is correct, this is incorrect. They look at images or whatnot. They have thousands of data taggers, and it's a critical thing for any AI company because you build data sets that way. It's really why I pursued doing a deal with the Red Cross so badly, because I knew their need. I'd seen it with my own eyes. I went to the Red Cross multiple times throughout my life living in Mexico, and it's just something that was like, wow, this is a great organization. It's amazing. But you could feel how they were suffering through lack of equipment and services and personnel, and there's just so many problems that they're dealing with. It's so saturated. Um, and they were still doing things on paper. I remember one of my friends from medical school was working at where the Red Cross is. One of the reasons I went there was because of that, and he just had a stack of papers of all these patients that weren't even filled out, and that creates a lot of errors. So it was just a no-brainer to have it done digitally. And uh, a lot of the aspects that are detrimental to healthcare or are the erroneous information that's captured or the misuse of it. But if you have a resident or a medical student or a doctor taking down information on paper, and it's a lengthy process to do so, and they're doing it at the end of the day after they saw all these patients, and now they have to remember what they saw. So that was a situation that they had. um, and it's that's kind of one of the problems that we will be solving with this, kind of updating everything with technology. Hey, why are you using paper where you could use an iPad or a tablet? Why are these things taking so long? They should be Why don't we have an AI listen to the patient and translate that to the medical history, and having the doctor write it all down? It's much easier for doctor just to review it. Little things like that can make a world of a difference. Those are the kinds of things that we're going for. And the beautiful thing is we can quickly develop them. It's not like this, it's an enormous build to build one thing. Because of the reach of technology today, we can quickly build these things out. And that's what we're going to be doing very rapidly with the Red Cross. And that's the vision with them. Let's see. Okay, everyone, I'm going to have to sign off in 2 more minutes. Wow, we're so fast today. I guess it's just the time flies when you're having fun. Say, I mean, I would say I'm very, very happy now that the filing has been done. So this next stage is very fun for me, and it does not to say there's not fires burning. There's always fires burning, and there's always things to fix. But it's definitely really cool that we're now in this. We're now full out execution mode and doing these things, and talking to investors and preparing for the launch. It's getting very exciting. So right now I can't believe this just hour and 20 minutes went by very quickly. Let's see. I'm looking at Gene's last comment here. Thank you very much, Gene, for your great praise, and definitely, it's been a lot of work to get to this point, and it's been an amazing ride. I appreciate everyone who have been here. I see, some people have come and gone, then come back again, and it's just, this dream has been a lot of work to fulfill, and helping people in this way. No one said it would be easy, but definitely, like Quentin says, I can breathe easier now that our filing is done, and that we can proceed to the next stage, that we have a full audit done. No one can come to us and say, oh, how are your numbers, or what are your plans? It's all there. It's public. I love the aspect that we can do this as a public company. I always, I've been doing AMAs for years now to the community, and everyone has seen the ups and downs and the good and the bad. But it hasn't swayed us, anyone part of Doc.com. It hasn't swayed us from the mission and what we've always wanted to achieve. And really, I've always been a true believer of the ones that persevere the most. There's Steve Jobs has a great talk about this online. You can find it on YouTube. But really, persevering through it is usually what leads to success. And doing something of this scale and with this kind of impact takes a lot of work. But we've gotten through it. So yes, this is a big milestone for us to have reached this. And what's coming next is really great. The kind of support that people see now, you can feel the good vibe coming on. You can feel people reaching out and saying, hey, there's, we want to work with Doc.com. We see that you're doing this. Wow, you did your filing. Like, there's, this is a real deal. It's very different when you say, oh, we just did an SEC filing. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, it's a big feat. So, whatever critique that we receive, I'm here now telling everyone, we're on this next step, and look, it's in our filing. Whatever challenges that we have ahead of us, we will confront, and we have that solidity now. So definitely, this is the exciting times. This is where the fun part begins, and we can start executing on these things. And I want to get these things done as fast as possible. I'm always optimistic on the time frames. I think that's one of my mistakes of my character, but I guess I always try to be optimistic on the time side. But the important thing is that we get things done, and so we're definitely going to be pushing forwards. I'll let everyone know once we have a specific launch date. We have a meeting on Monday morning to determine that particular thing. I'm always saying, like, let's just launch tomorrow if you can. It'll just be going through the apps again. We did a review of the apps last week. Saw some small errors in there, little things. Those are updated. So that's all we have to wrap up just to do a launch, but we're there. So I appreciate everyone. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. And I say it from the heart. I'm very grateful to have the community, to have this constant feedback loop, to have everyone here supporting us in what we're doing, going through the whole journey. I hope everyone benefits greatly and participates in the creation of this great healthcare system that we're doing for the world. And and uh, and I wish everyone the best and a great weekend. And thank you from the heart for being here. So I will sign off, and we will talk next Friday for the next AMA. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.